Hello and welcome to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert, and joining me tonight is my co-host, Joel Meyer, live from Germany. Joel, how's life across the pond over there?
It would be a lot better if I got some fucking sleep, but unfortunately, the Panthers, they keep doing this to me. They're going to force Game 6, and the Oilers just keep struggling on with McDavid and whatever, but otherwise, I love it over here, man. Like, smoking and drinking and having a good time. It's for once, I'm later than you are, right? Normally, I'm the one who's got the daylight going on, and you're about ready to sleep, but here I am, hanging on. 11:30 our time here in Cologne. But we got to do it. It's Stanley Cup playoffs. That's what we got to do. The other guys are going hard, playing through injuries and whatever. So we got to do what we got to do. So here I am, sticking it out, doing it for the club.
Yeah, you were in the air last time I recorded solo on Monday night, but we said we had to record all the way, even from Germany. There is a bit of a delay here, so hopefully there's not too much talking over each other. And I don't know, Joel's audio quality isn't the best, but better than a solo show, I figured. So I'll definitely want to get Joel's takes on what's been going on. Make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Island podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast. If that's on Spotify or Apple, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and review. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Going live there now. We'll be live there sometime again if there's a Game 7. We never know. Subscribe there. Get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. Follow us on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Joel, I wasn't very nervous going into Game 5. I figured Game 4, it's one game in Edmonton, one blowout. It's fine. I was more nervous about the Conn Smythe if it was going to be Barkov or Bob. And now, I'm more nervous about the series than I am about Conn Smythe because I did bet some Connor McDavid on the live action during the game. Thank God, FanDuel, Bet365, DraftKings keep those markets up during the game. But we do have ourselves a series here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, the listeners know I'm very heavy on Barkov and whatever, and it sucks to be able to say, yeah, okay, I bet a lot of McDavid live. Like, I can't help the listeners in that, but we're not recording during the game, so I can't help that. But yeah, we did get on McDavid, but that's the beauty of these new markets. I wasn't able to do this before on these different books where you could actually bet the Conn Smythe winner while the game is going on. At least not in Canada. So that's a new fabric, a new technicality, and a new opportunity for bettors here that can capitalize on it. It's proven very, very lucrative because we were able to get off a lot of good stuff. Even when we're betting Barkov, when Bobrovsky was getting shuttered by Darnell Nurse people when he got pulled and 5 goals in Game 4, and now so with McDavid getting another 4-point game, it was obvious. Like, even after 1 goal and an assist early on, I was like, okay, McDavid's going to come down a lot, and now he's the favorite. I mean, we can get into that later on, but yeah, absolutely, the live markets of the Conn Smythe stuff has been very lucrative because there's a way. There's very disparate limits or disparate odds across the books. Like, you can get, like you were saying, like -130 on DraftKings, while FanDuel was hanging at 2-1, and Bet365 was even more. So yeah, just keep. That's my advice. Just keep monitoring these live markets if you got them. You can actually, even if you're betting these stuff, because it's going to come down, and you can just go the other way the other time, like Barkov and McDavid and whoever. You're getting all these 2 to 3-1, 3-1. Then the next game, they're favored. So you can come back to the other side. I don't like doing this, but unfortunately, the Oilers just won't fucking go away. So I have to do it. And here we are, just hedging shit out and whatever. The Panthers could have made it so easy, though. They just fucking got the first goal and sealed the deal. But unfortunately, the Oilers, yeah, they got Bob's number now, apparently. Like, he's done for the Conn Smythe, but the Oilers are done. And we'll see where the series goes from here.
Yeah, I went hard on Bob last show, talking about he has no chance for the Conn Smythe, but I was right. I didn't expect him to give up 4 more in Game 6 or Game 5. I expected maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4. But I do want to give Bob some leeway for the goals he gave up. Shorthanded breakaway. He stopped a few breakaways already in the series. He's going to give up one up eventually. Shot off Hyman's shin pad that was going wide. Power play goal. McDavid's magic. But the McDavid side angle shot, that has to be saved. That's shades of Michael Layden back in 2010. That has to be saved. go to the RVH or go whatever you have to do to stop that one. And then the McDavid empty netter and the McDavid play to Corey Perry for the other power play goal is just one of the best plays you'll see in this Stanley Cup final ever. So yeah, McDavid's putting on a show. Yeah, and like you said, there's so many different markets, so many different angles, and so many different people have different views on it. Like people thought Bob was a must bet when he was plus odds, or people thought he had it locked up when it was minus 400. But there's been a lot of overreactions, a few different ways now. I've been saying a long time McDavid might be able to win it if they lose the cup. I did mean to do some research to see the highest point totals to lose the cup, to lose to Conn Smythe. But also, well, I'm going to save this for later. I'm going to save Conn Smythe for later. But what were your thoughts on Game 4, or Game 5 overall?
Well, Pepper started out hot, like very hot early on, but Skinner made some tremendous saves. And Oilers capitalized on their opportunities, like that shorthanded goal you mentioned with Connor Brown. What the fuck? Where does he come from? Like he had like the highest expected goals without scoring a goal in the regular season. All of a sudden he's got I think he has 3 in the playoffs now, at least 2. But out of nowhere, this guy's come out. Good for him, I guess, but not good for us. But yeah, Panthers it's like the opposite of the first 2 games. So the Oilers are capitalizing on their chances. Panthers are not capitalizing on their chances. They did get it going late in second period, late in third period, throughout the third period, really. That's when the Panthers really show up. They got the forecheck going and all that. But Stuart Skinner, I thought that he was very good in Game 5. So, yeah, Oilers goaltending apparently is a thing. He just has to be good enough because McDavid right now is on an otherworldly level. And, yeah, again, everything comes down to the cup spikes. Whenever I want to make a point, it always comes down to that market because that's the only thing interesting going on right now. But yeah, for Game 5, it was a one-man team with the Oilers. Connor McDavid was doing everything. He is on a mission. And the Panthers, Matthew Tkachuk was incredible. Actually, he finally showed up. He was very good in the game, even besides the goal and the point. He almost saved an empty net goal, but unfortunately, Connor McDavid got the best of that in the end. But yeah, it's a matter of Panthers got to get the game going, just got to capitalize on those chances and continue the forecheck, and the Panthers or the Oilers will break down. I'm pretty confident in that. We got 2 more chances at it. Panthers can do it. Just can't let those silly goals in, like the shorthanded goals. They got to stop. Like they let in those against the Rangers too. Like if you're not going to score on the power play, just don't get conceded on. And just keep it tight, boys.
Yeah. You got to get pucks in deep, get pucks on that on the power play. Don't go these cross-ice passes where they can intercept it and go for odd man rushes or breakaways other way. They did move OEL onto power play 1, and he was out there on the empty net as well. I guess it was Montour that made that bad pass. OEL was great. He had a goal as well. He's been good there. You mentioned Skinner's early saves. He had a big save on Ekblad early, which was a great setup by Barkov, which hurt me specifically because I'm on Barkov for Conn Smythe. I also threw a free bet on Ekblad 100-1 to score the first goal last night, so that would have been pretty sweet to open the game. But but also for OEL, he thought the puck was in and to stop playing, and then McDavid got the empty netter against Tkachuk there, of course. But yeah, Panthers still the much better team at 5-on-5. Shot attempts 54-21, shots 25-14, scoring chances 24-10, high danger chances 9-3, including second, third periods. It was 19-4 scoring chances. So like the Panthers are the better team at 5-on-5, but they've allowed the Oilers to have 11 power plays in the past 2 games. And, part of that's the refs calling it a little bit loose, but that's also the Panthers. They can't take penalties against this Oilers team. They just can't.
I know. I mean, there's so many penalties. Like a lot of this stuff's like called like a regular season game, I think. I mean, there's stuff they're calling, and then they didn't even call the too many men on the ice on the Oilers. There was clearly too many men on the ice. You remember that play where there was by the Oilers bench?
Yes, I do. I screamed at him from my couch. I was like, too many. There's too many.
Yeah, so they're really calling everything except for the little minor calls on the Oilers. You can't blame the refs too much, I guess. I mean, maybe you'll get a bit of a bias towards them, but yeah, just Panthers got to be better. Got to be disciplined, stay disciplined, can't blame the refs and all that. But I do wish they would chill out on the fucking penalties because it's getting a little bit crazy. They're calling everything. Like Smitty pointed out in the group chat. He was saying if you're not going to call, or if you're going to call the embellishment, you can't call the hooking on the Tkachuk in the third period. It's got to be one or the other. You can't do this both. It's it's stupid, right? I mean, just either call the diving or call the hook or call nothing. Call nothing would be my opinion on that, because if Tkachuk dives, that cancels it out. I mean, we can get into a whole philosophical discussion on diving, but I would rather just like get rid of it altogether and focus on the diving. But based on the current rules of the game, I think that should have been just no call either way. Not that it was particularly consequential, but anyway, that was an annoying thing in the third period for me.
Yeah, I completely agree. I didn't think they should have called embellishment. Then I saw the replay. I was like, okay, Kachuk didn't really argue too much. But yeah, don't call anything there. Going 4-on-4 helps the Oilers. Just let them play. And I'm hoping we do see more of that in Game 6, being like another do or die game for the Oilers. And Panthers kind of had their backs up against the wall too. So I'm hoping they put their whistles away a little bit, call only the obvious shit. But like, I don't know. I am still confident in the Panthers here. I think they were the much better team. I think Bob is fine. It's just they showed Stuart Skinner's stats in elimination games, and he was great in that Game 6 against the Stars too, which was not an elimination game, but a clinching game. And like, he just steps up in the clutch moments. And he said, getting pulled against the Canucks showed that he needed to do whatever he needed to do to get his game better. And he's done it. And credit to the Panthers for making it a game after going down 3-0. Tkachuk, huge goal, like you said. He's right back in the Conn Smythe race. We'll get to that. He had the assist on the OEL goal as well. But yeah, it's a much longer series than we thought after the first 3 games.
No doubt. What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, the difference is the 5-on-5 play. Like you mentioned, all the stats in favor of the Panthers all day long. So we just got to stay 5-on-5, stay disciplined, no more fucking penalties. We'll get to it. And one more important thing: in Game 4, the Panthers were clearly not ready to play. Right? We didn't record after Game 4, so I didn't get my thoughts on that one. Like, the pressure is on. I can understand just them laying an egg in that one. Like, all the families showing up. Okay, we're good. We got 3-0 lead, and the Oilers back against the wall. Okay, so we'll take it easy, and that did not work. But Game 5, clearly a better effort from the Panthers, but Oilers got a bit of a bounce on the puck, some luck on the refs, whatever. But in the end of the day, McDavid just totally dominated that game. And yeah, we're going against the greatest of all time, I think. Like, McDavid is just on another level right now. I haven't seen this since Joe Sakic back with the Colorado Avalanche, like how he dominated games in the playoffs. But Connor McDavid, like, in terms of pure talent, he's even better than Sakic. So it's hard to contain that kind of monstrosity.
Yeah, and I mean, you said it. They pointed that on the broadcast as well. Emily Kaplan said the Panthers, they chartered all their family in. The Stanley Cup was in the building. They were just trying to do too much. And then they started out Game 5 fantastic. They were great. And then they got the power play, and that killed their momentum because the Oilers got the shorthanded goal. The crowd kind of got out of it a little bit, and it took until the second period when they were down 3-0 to finally get back in it. But yeah, they were the much better team in the second half of the game. You have to hope that carries over, and their depth. They're a good third period team, so hopefully that depth carries over to the third period of the series too here in Game 6 and Game 7.
Well, yeah, like now the Oilers have used up like their back against the wall mentality. Now the pressure is on them. Coming back to Edmonton or the Game 6, the pressure is on the Oilers now. I think like the Panthers have a little bit of heat off of them. I think that's an advantage to the Panthers now. So hopefully they can get it done, even if it's not on home soil.
Yeah, hopefully they can. We'll get into Game 6 right after this. We are brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Pick 8 is now live. Create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flex entries so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry. With more picks to make and extra ways to win, the excitement is higher than ever. The best part, you can win up to 325 times your original amount, and you can now use specials and boosts on all flexed entries. So don't miss Don't miss your chance to try it out before it's gone. Sign up with promo code HGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdog Fantasy, promo code HGP. Rachel, anything else there on game 4 or 5 or the series as a whole before we go to preview game 6 here?
Nah, let's get into it.
All right, game 6 will be Friday, June 21st at 8 p.m., 8:20 puck drop in Edmonton. Oilers are once again favorites here. Home favorites minus 122. Panthers plus 102. Over under is at 5.5. Both paying off minus 110. Jolie, if you were not already invested, how would you be betting this game? And might you bet this game anyway?
Probably not going to bet it, but if I would bet it, I would definitely bet the Panthers. Plus 102, I think it's decent. I know the Oilers had like a much better number in game 4 or game 3 actually. Like they were the highest, like minus 145, minus 150. I think it closed that. Now they're minus 122, so that's kind of a little bit scary. But considering it's a game 6 with the Panthers losing 2 in a row, it's very hard to win 3 games in a row in the playoffs, especially in the Stanley Cup Final. I think the Panthers get it done here. So getting the plus money here on the road team, where road teams have feasted in these playoffs, I think is the bet. If you're just coming at this as a virgin, like a virgin, as Madonna would say. So like, give me the Panthers here, plus 102. I think they're just the better team, and they've been a bit unfortunate here in the past couple. Well, obviously, they're always the better team in game 4, but last game, I think the Panthers deserve to win it. And we got to get some good Bobrovsky again, right? Like we've already kicked him out of the Conn Smythe race. We can get some good saves again. So let's go. Come on, Bob, wake up and make some saves here. And hopefully the refs finally put away their whistles, because if it's 5-4, the Oilers definitely have the advantage there. So let's keep this a 5-5 game. 3 or 4 penalties per game will be good. Panthers, better 5-5 team. I love it. Yeah, give me the Panthers here for the total. It's a game 6. 2 disciplined teams, more or less. If we get fewer penalties, like I expect we will, I'll go with the under once again. Even though we've seen a couple of overs in the past, they're kind of fortunate in terms of going over the total with some uncharacteristic goaltending from Bobrovsky and a lot of penalties. Yeah, the under 5.5 would again be the play, as long as as well as the Panthers.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on the Panthers. Panthers here at plus odds. I do want to say I told you so there for game 5. Panthers got up to minus 150, minus 170 favorites.
Get the fuck out of here.
They did.
Okay, give me the context was you were saying that what was it, 4 to win them in 5 games, or to win 4-1,
something like that.
Right, that was the thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Panthers win 4-1. I was saying to just set the money line straight, and you would have got a better number if you played the odds right. Okay, fine. If you played the closing line, maybe the Panthers got massive favorites there. That was my point. You know what I mean? Like they're minus 130, minus 135, like I said. And then okay, late game day money. If you get the worst number, then sure, then you're out of luck. But my point stands. Like they weren't minus 175 at serious books. Give me a break. And bet MGM.
I know. I just have to give it to you. You and your numbers and your lines, and I finally got one over on you. Even if it was the closing number. Yeah, I like the Panthers here. Even money plus odds. I imagine this could move towards them. They could be minus 110 or higher. Like you said, I don't see them losing 3 straight. I don't see them losing 4 straight. I still like them for the series. I think that's still up to minus 300, minus 350. I wouldn't bet that. I just bet them game by game. Bet them here at plus 102. Much better team at 5-on-5. I think the whistles will go away a little bit. You know, should be a tense building, but I got to go with the over 5.5, minus 110. You can find minus 105 still out there. FanDuel minus 104. 3 straight games, not only over 5.5, but over 6.5, 4-3, 8-1, 5-3. Could see a 4-3 type of game. Could see a 4-2 type of game, hopefully, with getting good Bob. But I don't know. It could very easily tighten back up and be a low-scoring game. But the Oilers kind of have found their recipe, which is opening things up a little bit and getting high-flying action back and forth. So I think Stuart Skinner comes back down to earth. Bob still allows a few. We get like a 4-2, 5-2, 4-3 type of win for the Panthers here. Winning in 6. Panthers have been great on the road all season. 33, 13-5. Been great in the playoffs as well. They're 7-3 on the road, 8-4 at home. So they have a better win percentage on the road. Could go for 8 road wins, 8 home wins for the Stanley Cup, which would be pretty cool for them. So yeah, like the Panthers here, plus 102. I like the over at -110.
Yeah, it's very typical of a Canadian team to get to this point. All the pressure's on the Oilers. Panthers are coming to town. Everyone's expecting the Oilers to win this game. The crowd's gonna be going nuts. No, that but the Oilers or the Panthers are used to that after Game 4 and Game 3 and 4 with the environment there. Also, one more thing I should mention: the ice. The ice in Game 5, it was awful, fucking awful. This is why we shouldn't be playing games in the fucking middle of June, especially not in Florida where there's snow ice at any time of the year. It's so fucking hot. Like the puck is bouncing everywhere. I mean, that should benefit the Panthers if anything, considering the Oilers rely on that like passing whatever on the power play. But either way, like the ice was so bad in terms of the slickness of it. It was very choppy. So I don't not like that at all. This is why hockey should not be played in the middle of fucking June, especially not in Florida. And that's why another reason I don't like these Southern teams to be this far deep in the playoffs. But now back going up to Edmonton, the ice will be a little better at least, and hopefully that benefits the Panthers. But if anything, it benefits the Oilers because they're the ones who rely on that slick passing game, especially on the power play.
I do agree that the Stanley Cup should not be going this deep into June. We saw today a bunch of trades in the NHL. The NHL GMs are fed up with it as well, but don't blame it on the South. It's fucking in the 90s here up in Philly. There's a heat wave in Midwest. The Rangers play above a train station. Their ice is always shitty. So I don't want to hear your anti-South propaganda right now.
No. If it's 90s in Philly, what do you think it is in fucking Miami?
I mean, it could be lower. You never know. There's a big heat wave this week. It's been in the 90s, in the 30s. Oh, okay. That's probably it here for Game 6. I may throw out some props. Might be an Underdog Fantasy video on Twitter or YouTube. Check that out if I do get around to that. Check the Discord for any of our plays, prop plays, and whatnot. And if you like betting on player props, you got to check out Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter, data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. Rhythm's predictive models were born from the brains of MIT data scientists and quants with over 3 years of data that help drive you to better AI-backed betting decisions. Plus, it's never too early to start your NFL projections. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, Joel. And now it's time for the serious talk of the podcast here. The Conn Smythe Trophy odds. McDavid has run out to a heavy lead here. -175 is the best price. He's as high as -200 at Caesars. You got Barkov there at +280. Bob at +750. Kachuk has gotten kind of back into it at 66-1. I saw Bouchard was in there somewhere, but like it's McDavid versus whoever has a great game for the Panthers, really, at this point, right?
Yeah, before getting into that, we got a little bit of discontent from the chat. We got Dave O in the Fedora. All the pressure is on the Oilers. LOL. I think it is. Considering the stakes involved, and then the fact that they were going in like, okay, 3-0 down. We got nothing to lose. We got to fight hard, and then going to Florida. All right, nothing to lose. Elimination game. The pressure's on the Florida team to get it done at their home ice. And now coming back to Edmonton, I think there is a little bit more pressure on the Oilers. Like Florida now is like, sure, they're in desperation mode now after losing 2 straight games, but still, given the media, all the attention paid to the Oilers, I think that there is a ton of pressure. You can maybe argue it's equal, but I don't think that there's more pressure on the Panthers at this point. Sure, you could say like that it'll be historical in terms of if they blow it, like if it goes to Game 7 and all that. But for Game 6, I think it's at least even. I think it would be more on the Oilers now, considering the media attention or whatever, the stakes involved in the home environment there. So anyway, that's right then there.
I agree with that. Just to say, I think there's more pressure on the Oilers. Of course, there's not all the pressure on the Oilers, but they had to drag them back to Alberta because that's the only way anyone will go to Alberta in their lives. They have to be dragged there, and now I think they're going to have a nice celebration. What are your thoughts on the Celtics going to Miami for the celebration? By the way, Did you see that?
I have no idea. No, I'm out of it, man. I'm all about you guys now.
The Celtics won the championship, and then on their whiteboard was like flight to Miami noon tomorrow. They're going down to Miami to celebrate rather than celebrating in their own city.
What?
Yeah,
that's fucking tragic.
Yes.
That's,
but something finally happened good to a Boston sports team. So good for Boston.
Well, yeah. Good thing I don't like basketball.
Yeah,
that's pathetic. That's bewildering to me. I don't have anything to say about that. Just that it's fucking stupid. The fans should come first. You got to celebrate the fans. You should be there for fucking a week, 2 weeks. Celebrate there, bring the cup there, do all that. That's how we do in hockey. Basketball is a foreign world to me. I don't understand that logic at all. How do they get away with that?
I don't know. But let's get back to it. McDavid minus 175, Barkov plus 280. A lot of talk. I saw there was an article. I think it was Wyszynski wrote it. It was like, can McDavid win the Conn Smythe in a losing effort? And that was before Game 5, and like everyone was saying no. And then last night was like, Connor McDavid has the Conn Smythe locked up. I wonder if there was this much. I wonder if there was this much discourse about the Conn Smythe before betting was involved in everything. I can't imagine there was. So I guess that's a good thing to create more discussion. But what are your thoughts on McDavid if the Panthers win in 6?
I don't think there was consensus that McDavid couldn't win after Game 4. I thought
he was 750 though. Like I feel like that's 12%.
Well, we know these Conn Smythe markets are fake. We know this. Right? We've been betting into them heavily for the past 2 weeks now. But no, Wyszynski was saying like there was if the Oilers win Game 5, then he's heavily part of the conversation. And now he is the minus 175 favorite. So he was right about that. I mean, obviously, if the Panthers won Game 5, he would not have won. But given the fact that the Oilers won, like there was always a potential for them winning. Clearly, they weren't that big of a dog.
Don't want to interrupt you here, but do you think he wouldn't have won if because the votes are due 10 minutes left in the third period? I imagine most of the voters. I don't know if they would have factored in like, okay, if the cup is awarded tonight, the Panthers win, so it shouldn't be McDavid. But I imagine most of the voters put McDavid first, if not second, on their ballots, and the Panthers could have came back and won it.
That would have been fucking tragic. I don't think that would have happened. I think that. Okay, here's the take that I was thinking about today. People were saying that it's stupid that they only let them vote or let them put in their votes 10 minutes before the end of the third period.
I agree.
In a way, that's a good thing because it actually emphasizes the rest of the playoffs. Like it should be accounting for the entire playoffs, not just the final 10 minutes of the last game of the playoffs. So in that sense, I'm fine with it. Like, okay, give the credit for the guys who did the work in Game 1 of the first series or Game 6 in the second series. Like, to me, the bigger sample size makes more sense to give credit to them for that rather than, okay, you happen to score the final goal in the Game 6 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Obviously, that makes more sense. Like, it's more important to score the game-winning goal that late in the series, but I'm just getting tired of this narrative that, it's terrible that they make them vote the last 10 minutes of the whole Stanley Cup playoffs. It's okay. It's okay. Like there's a whole big sample size before that we can actually realize the best players of the playoffs. It's not the NBA Finals where it's just the finals. It's not just the one series. It's the entire playoff. So in that sense, I can understand it.
That's an excellent point. I will stand down on my hatred for that. That's a great point.
Yeah, I'm always I don't know. I try to be a contrarian at times, but yeah. As for the what's the question?
Can McDavid win it if the Panthers win in 6?
Oh yeah, of course he can. That's why he's minus 175.
Or should he? I guess.
Should he? In my opinion, is irrelevant. I don't think he should. I think Barkov has been the best player in the playoffs throughout it. Like McDavid was he was great, but Barkov has kind of been like just consistent. He does all the subtle things right, and he's the the glue, the catalyst for the rest of the Panthers team. Like he's the identity, like what we talked about so many times. Like he's so great defensively. Lately, not so much because that's why McDavid's been blowing by him, and now that's why he's my 175 favorite. I think that's maybe a little bit too high now, but I think he is deserving to be the favorite, given the fact that the Panthers are a complete team and the voters are, they stick to the highlights and whatever, and the Panthers are just, they don't have like this stand-up player, and McDavid is the ultimate stand-up player. So really, it comes down to McDavid being on a losing team winning. The optics of that, like if the Panthers win the cup and then they get the Conn Smythe to McDavid, he's got to be shameful just accepting that award. It's gonna be so bad. So that's the thing that I don't think he wins if the Panthers win in 6. I don't think so. But this is uncharted territory given the fact that McDavid is so good. He gets so much recognition for being the best player in the world, and now he gets the opportunity to win a Conn Smythe in a losing effort. We're really just handicapping human emotion at this point, and I just can't stick with precedent. So I think here's my point: if Panthers win in 6, Barkov gets it. If Panthers win in 7 or Oilers win in 7, McDavid gets it. That's my point right now. So.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. I think Barkov. There is the discourse that Barkov hasn't shut down McDavid. He's gone off for 8 points in his past 2 games, 10 points in his past 3 games. But if you look at the McDavid on ice at 5-on-5, there's a 6-2 goals advantage for Edmonton. But against Barkov, it's 1-1. So it's 5-1 against not Barkov and 1-1 against Barkov. At even strength for McDavid, it's 8-4, 3-3 against Barkov at even strength, which includes 4-on-4, which there's been way too much of in the Stanley Cup Final for my liking. So, like that's a straw man argument. Like, oh, McDavid's been going off, Barkov's not shutting him down. No, McDavid's been going off on the power play, not when Barkov's on the ice. Like Barkov's still making great plays defensively and offensively. I mean, McDavid, I think, also does deserve credit for his defensive play. He was incredible there in the second and third period, especially of Game 5 against the Panthers. But what you said, I think, is the biggest thing. Like, there's no one guy for the Panthers. Like, sure, it's Barkov, but Tkachuk leads the team in points now with 22, and McDavid has 42 points. It's 20 more points than anyone that he doesn't play with on the power play. Bouchard has 32, 10 more. Draisaitl has 30, 12 more, but 20 more than Tkachuk. That's why I'm worried. Like, if the Panthers win in 6, 3-2 type of win, Barkov no points, Tkachuk gets a point. Just some depth goals for the Panthers. Like, there's no one to step up. I do think it still should be Barkov there at plus 280, but McDavid is the favorite for a reason, and I could see the narrative just being like he's the best in the world. He's the best we've ever seen, especially if he has at least one highlight reel goal or assist in Game 6. Having said that, I wouldn't bet him minus 175. What I would bet, and I gave this out in my covers article today, my early leans, is McDavid over 1.5 points is minus 130. That's 45 cents better than him to get the Conn Smythe. I think he has to have at least 2 points in a losing effort to get it in Game 6. And you can get that. You can get him to get 3 points at plus 250. I think that's an option. And I don't know if I would recommend betting anybody right now at these prices. Maybe Barkov 20 at plus 280. I don't hate Tkachuk if you can find it long enough. If he has another signature game here and the voters weigh it towards the clutch performance late in the series, I think Barkov should win it if they're not giving it to McDavid. But I don't know. I don't know how they don't give it to McDavid at this point unless he's held to 1 point or fewer in Game 6.
Well, the reason they don't give it is why I explained it. The optics of it. Just either the Panthers win the cup, they should get the Conn Smythe winner. The most important player in the playoffs should belong to the winning team. It doesn't happen very often that the losing team gets the Conn Smythe winner. And yeah, I mean, Barkov would be the only bet for me. I saw some crazy prices. Some people are betting Tkachuk at 320 to 1, 320 to 1. That made more sense.
Yeah, he's down to 66 is the best odds for Kachuk at BetMGM, 40-1 FanDuel, 30-1 DraftKings, 25 at Canby. So like he's coming down a lot. I threw a free bet on him at 500-1 before the game yesterday, so I wouldn't hate that. I hedged with McDavid, which I know doesn't help anyone right now, but I still think Barkov should get it if the Panthers win in 6. But I don't know, McDavid's just so good.
He is, and he's objectively he's been the best player in the playoffs. But that doesn't matter when the winning team doesn't have the best player in the playoffs. It takes a lot. Like we see some crazy goalies like Jaguar win it on a losing team, but that's a little different. We're not in treaded waters here. Like I've said in the group chat, it's like Connor McDavid is like supposed to be even better than Gretzky in some circles, even better than Bobby Orr, who I think is the best player to ever play the game. But so now we have that conversation whether they want to give it to him on a losing effort. Like, that's kind of embarrassing in a way. Like winning that on a losing team, I don't know. I think that a lot of voters will just want to credit the best player on the winning team. That's McDavid's case again. But come to Game 7, everything's up for grabs. I think so. That's really the argument. Right? Whether it's the Panthers winning Game 6 or Game 7. But right now, I think that Barkov at plus 280 would be the best bet. I'm not adding more until we get to live stuff because we just wait for live, and the odds are just fucking nuts. So if you have certain books, just use those because at this point it's nonsensical just betting this stuff before the game because you can get the same odds after a guy gets a point and you can read the game how it's going on. Like the Oilers are winning 3-4-1 and McDavid is barely coming down in price. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Just wait for the live odds if you have those markets up.
Yeah, that's why it's important to have multiple outs. FanDuel's have been the best, or Bet365 or FanDuel. I think those are legal in not most states, but most legal states have at least one of those, unless you're in Massachusetts up there with only DraftKings, which tends to move the lines pretty good. MGM moves the lines pretty good as well. But yeah, I don't know if I was coming into this with nothing like a virgin, like you said, I guess Barkov plus 280 would be my bet if you're looking forward to this point. But if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have a bet already, if not multiple. Don't hate adding Barkov at plus 280 if you don't have enough of him yet. But the only skater to lose the Stanley Cup and win the Conn Smythe is Reggie Leach of the Flyers back in 1976. He had 24 points in 16 games in those playoffs. But of those 24 points, 19 were goals. Like he was scoring left and right for the Flyers in that. Like that's something you have to look at. McDavid has 8 goals, but some of his assists are as good as goals. Like his one on the Perry goal there in Game 5.
He broke the record, Gretzky's record for assists in the playoffs. I mean, it took a lot more games to do it, but still, that matters.
Yeah, he broke the record. He's in reach of the points record. I think what is it, 47? So he's within 5 or 6 points of that. I think it's 46, 47, 48, somewhere in there. If it goes 7, I think it's McDavid. If the Panthers ended in 5, it should be Barkov. I don't know what happens if it's like a 3-2 game. McDavid gets 2 points, Barkov gets none. I think at that point, it's very much up in the air. Hopefully the Panthers just go up, and by the 10-minute mark of the third period, it's decided and it's Barkov. But you can't count out McDavid at any point.
No, this is a very interesting market altogether. I mean, last year, I guess, kind of interesting, given we were trying to fade Marshall Show as a big favorite, but that time. But yeah, it made sense in the end, I guess. But now it's like Archer was saying, it's like we got the Hart Trophy race still going on. Like McKinnon is still not 100%. Now we have McDavid here, gumming up the works. But that's what makes these award betting, the award market so lucrative. Like just being on top of them, you can always get these plus prices. You can always take the other side and all that. I mean, I would like it if I didn't have to bet McDavid and Panthers just fucking won in Game 5. That'd be so good. But unfortunately, I had to cower out and bet McDavid, and here we are. And now he's minus 175. But yeah, it's just fucking end this series, Panthers. Come on, I can't stay up all night here. The game ends at like 6 a.m. I gotta sleep then till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I got things to do here. I gotta look at girls. I gotta go walk down to the Rhine. I gotta drink some beer. Fucking Panthers, just get it done, boys. Come on.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else on the Conn Smythe of this series. You have anything else? Any final points there you want to say?
No, I think the only one who can interrupt the McDavid Barkov party is Kachuk. 66-1 is the best price right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one I could see right now. Bobrovsky, I think, is done. Like, come on. Like, if you're going for Bobrovsky now, I don't know what you're doing. Yeah, maybe if he gets a shutout, I can understand it somewhat, but I don't think that's happening. So, yeah, it's McDavid, Barkov, big long odds than Kachuk. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, completely agree there. You want to touch on any of these trades today? Pierre-Luc Dubois for Darcy Kemper, Kings to the Capitals. Jacob Markstrom going to the Devils for Kevin Ball and a first-round pick next year with top 10 protected.
Oh, hell yeah. Not even the 10th overall?
Not even 10th overall? No. Devils fans were, or Flames fans were very disappointed in that.
Fuck them.
Right,
you want me to go?
Go ahead, yeah.
All right. Yeah. Again, I told you I bet some Devils a few days ago, thinking that this would happen. 22-1, baby, and so 20-1 with Georgia for the national championship. So I'm back on the Devils bandwagon once again. A bitter enemy of Ryan's Flyers here in the hated rivalry in the Northeast. Whatever you fucking call the rivalry.
I don't fucking.
Yeah, they got a goalie now. They got a goalie now. They'll be a great regular season team. Metro division sucks. They'll be a playoff team, no doubt. So I just took the number. Yeah, the Devils are not a great playoff team. They're not, big, tough, tall. Not the typical characteristics of a Stanley Cup winning team, but they're more like the Avalanche. So if you can get another Avalanche team getting going with Markstrom in net, they have a chance. They have a chance, and they also have a great cap situation with so many guys on like great deals. So there could be more to come from the Devils. So I love them. I also bet the Bruins once again. God help me, 22-1. Yeah, they're more like the typical Stanley Cup winning team. I had to do it. I think that they'll get a number one center, probably Elias Lindholm. So those are my two bets going into next season, probably. We'll see if I have any more.
Yeah, I didn't realize how shit Markstrom's numbers have been the past 2 years. 905 save percentage this past year, 892 the year before. Maybe a change of scenery helps, but yeah, Devils are definitely going to be in the playoffs next year. Definite bounce back. So that's going to suck. That's going to suck for my Flyers. I kind of do like Darcy Kemper going to the Kings. He plays well behind good defenses, and that's what the Kings have. So I feel like that could help him there. Pierre-Luc Dubois definitely needs another change of scenery. So we'll see what happens there in Washington. Definitely, they were just loading up for Ovechkin. Once Ovechkin retires, they're just fucked for so many years, but they're still trying to ride that out.
In 3 seconds, that's a great deal for the Kings. Just getting out of that deal. I don't trust him at all. But going back to Markstrom, like he was putting up some of the best numbers throughout most of this year. Like, in terms of like goals against, whatever, fine. He wasn't great, but the Calgary defense was one of the worst in the NHL. Like his goal save, I've expected is great. Like Kevin Woodley, a noted NHL expert in terms of goalies, he was saying he should be up for the Vezina. So get him behind that Devils back line. Could be good things to come. So I love the move of the Devils.
Yeah, Flames going to go fully with Dustin Wolf, the Wolfie man there. So we'll see what he does in Calgary. Yeah, and then also speaking of my Flyers, Travis Yost, who broke the Flames trade, said he believes the Ottawa Senators and Philadelphia Flyers have the framework of a trade in place as well. So this one may go closer to the draft. So going to keep an eye on that. We'll see what happens there. Flyers could trade up to number 7 possibly. Could maybe go for Jacob Chikrin. Could maybe go for a center like Shane Pinto or Ridley Greig. So Flyers should hopefully be active this offseason, especially if Matvei Michkov comes over earlier than expected.
Yeah, well, we won't get that 10-1 for the Flyers to make the playoffs, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not, no. But yeah, make sure you check out our Broad Street Hockey podcast. I talk about more with the Flyers on there if you're a Flyers fan or just want more content from me for some reason. Apparently some people do. So check that out. I think that's all we had really to talk about. Oh, when's your first game? When's your first game you're going to there over in for the Euros?
That'll be Saturday, I think.
Saturday.
Well,
that's gonna you're gonna be fucked. You're gonna be fucked for sleep. What time is that?
I know, man. Because you got the fucking Panthers game Friday night here, and then the Euro game. Technically, it's the late one, so I won't have to watch the early games. I can sleep in on Saturday. So that works out that way. But still, man, I would rather just be done with this fucking series, this fucking playoffs. Just come on, Panthers, get the job done. Let us go to sleep. Let us just count the money.
Yeah, and then in 6 here, Panthers hopefully get Barkov the Conn Smythe. That's what we all want here. Make sure you are subscribed to the Hockey Gambling Podcast on Apple, Spotify, or your preferred podcast platform. Subscribe, like, and comment on YouTube as well. Follow on Twitter at HockeySGPN. Get in the Discord, sg.pn/Discord. And that's it. Anything else before we give our farewells?
Farewell.
All right.
Auf Wiedersehen.
I am Ryan Gilbert. You can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop.
I'm Joel Meyer, and you'll find me walking down the Rhine River, smoking cigs, looking at girls, and drinking beer. Let's go, boys.
See ya.